Oh, how are we, lads? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to round 21 of the NRL. We got some cracking games this weekend. Parramatta versus South Sydney, a top four clash there. Third versus fourth on the ladder. We got the Panthers up against the Roosters. Another big game there. Second versus fifth on the ladder. And then the other game on Saturday night. The blockbuster game. Manly versus Melbourne, the game of the round. It could even be the game of the year. Hopefully it lives up to the hype because the way Manly are going at the moment, especially Tom Trbojevic up against that Melbourne Storm side, who haven't lost a game since round 2, I believe. It's going to be a big round of footy, but I hope you guys are doing well on this Tuesday afternoon. It is currently 4:40 p.m. So, yeah, the team just came out 40 minutes ago, so we're going to get into the round footy. But if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Make sure you guys also like the video and leave your tips for round 21 in the comment section below, and maybe your first try scorers or your anytime try scorers or your man of the match. Let me know in the comment section below. But let's get into it, fellas. Round 21 of the NRL kicks off on Thursday night up at Sunshine Coast Stadium in Queensland. It is the Newcastle Knights up against the Brisbane Broncos. The Newcastle Knights are favourites here at $1.30. The Broncos at $3.75. $7.50 on Thursday night this game is. So for the Knights, couple of massive inclusions there. Mitchell Pearce is back. Massive inclusion there for Newcastle. Lachlan Fitzgibbon also returns on the extended bench, along with Stafford Toa. As for the Broncos, no Katoni Staggs and no Jake Turpin. Big losses there. So, look, the Broncos, they were great against the Cowboys last week. Newcastle were great against Canberra. Newcastle were fighting for a top 8 position. The Broncos are trying to avoid the bottom 4. Look, for this game, I think Newcastle will be a little bit too good for the Broncos on Thursday night. The Broncos, I think they'll be competitive early on, but I expect the Newcastle Knights to get the job done there, especially with Mitchell Pearce back in the side. So, I'm going to go Newcastle here, 30 points to 10. I think they'll be far too good on Thursday night. My prediction for the game, Newcastle Knights to beat the Broncos, 30 points to 10. I reckon Bradman Best will score 2 tries on Thursday night, and I reckon Mitchell Pearce will be the man of the match. Newcastle to win by 20 points on the Thursday night. Let's move on to Friday night footy. The first game kicking off at 6 o'clock up there at Seabus Super Stadium on the Gold Coast. It is the Canberra Raiders up against the St. George Illawarra Dragons. The Raiders are $1.30 favourites here. The Dragons at $3.50. Only the one change for the Green Machine. Sebastian Kris has been dropped, and I have decided to go with Matthew Tomoko in the centres. As for the Dragons, though, a lot of players out. Ben Hunt's out for about a month. Bill's not playing. Kerr's out. Tyrell Fuimano's out. Sloan's out. The Dragons have put Jack Bird at fullback. Ramsey's in the centre. Zach Lomax is the big inclusion as well. Ravalawa was there. Adam Clean scored in the halfback. Look, the Raiders last week were really, really poor. They did not impress me whatsoever. And then I watched the Dragons play and I felt even more sick because they were really poor as well when they played South. So both sides were really poor last week, but Canberra have a lot more to play for here. Now, it is 9 versus 10th on the ladder, but going into the game, you wouldn't have thought so with the form the Dragons are in, and Canberra have been so up and down. Look, I don't think this game will be a blowout. I think it'll be a tight game. It could go either way. I don't trust Canberra, but I am going to tip the Raiders here by 10, 24 points to 14. I reckon Joseph Tarpany will be an anytime try scorer for the Raiders, and I reckon Josh Hodgson will be the man of the match. So Canberra by 10, but with absolutely zero confidence in that one. Raiders to win on Friday night. The other game on Friday night, it's a double header up at Seabus Super Stadium. This game's kicking off at 8:05 p.m. It is a top 4 clash. It is the Parramatta Eels up against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. The Rabbitohs, they are $1.35 favourites here. The Eels at $3.25. Now for the Eels, Regan Campbell-Gillard is a massive out for the Eels, so Oregon Kafusi goes into the front row. and they bring Murata Niokore and Bryce Cartwright back into the side. And the big one for the Eels, Mitchell Moses returns, so massive inclusion there for the Eels. As for the Bunnies, Benji Marshall, Cameron Murray, and Tavita Totola are back for the Rabbitohs. Benji, Totola, and Murray are all back for the Bunnies as well. This is going to be a good game of football, I think. Parramatta, they haven't been great without Moses. They beat the Gold Coast the other week, and then they lost 2 games in a row. They were beaten by who were they beaten by? The Roosters last week, and they were beaten by Canberra the week beforehand. As for the Bunnies, well, they're absolutely flying at the moment. Latrell Mitchell, Cody Walker, they're in sensational form. Look, I think this game will be pretty tight, but I am going to go with the Bunnies. I think South Sydney will get the job done on Friday night. I trust them a lot more than I do the Eels. So I'm going to go the Rabbitohs here by 6, 26 points to 20. I reckon Micah Sevo and Cameron Murray will both score a try at any time for the Rabbitohs and the Eels. I reckon they'll both snag a try. And I'm going to go Damien Cook to be the man of the match in that game on Friday night. The Rabbitohs to beat the Eels by 6 points in that one. Let's move on to Super Saturday. Now, it's a triple header up at Suncorp Stadium. 3 games up there, back to back to back. First game's at 3 o'clock. It is the New Zealand Warriors up against the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. The Sharks are favourites here at $1.30. The Warriors at $3.50. Now, the Warriors, they've had injuries. Last week, they were very gutsy to beat the West Tigers in what was one of the worst games of football I've seen all year. As for the Sharks, well, they played last night against the Seagulls. They were bashed all over the field, but showed some good signs in the last 10 minutes of that game. For the Warriors, though, Manock Masilla's out due to injury. The Warriors welcome back Fanua Blake, Chanel Harris-Tavita, Jack Murphy, Josh Curran, Matt Lodge. The Warriors have got a lot of players back. The Sharks, well, they're pretty much 1 through to 17. Except Jesse Raymond will play in the centres and Luke Metcalf will drop out to the reserves. I don't trust the Sharks either. You know, they've done some good stuff, Cronulla, but the Warriors, you don't know what they're going to do. 1 week they'll struggle to beat the Tigers. The other week they'll beat a good side. So look, tough game to call here, but I am going to go to the Sharks by probably 14 points. I'm not confident at all in saying that. The Warriors can show up and win this game. Who knows with the Warriors? You don't know what to expect. I'm going to go to the Sharks here. They can still make the finals, and they just fell out of the top 8 because the Titans had a win yesterday. So I reckon the Sharks will beat the Warriors here. 30 points to 16. Sharks by 14 points there. I reckon Talakai and Sione Katoa will be an anytime try scorer in that game as well. And Will Kennedy, I reckon he'll be the man of the match. Sharks to win by 14 points, but again, it's a flip of the coin game because the Warriors are very unpredictable. Sharks to win by 14. Saturday night, kicking off at 5:30 p.m. up at Suncorp Stadium. One of the games of the round. It is the Sydney Roosters up against the Penrith Panthers. The Panthers are $1.40 here. The Roosters at $3. Now, the Roosters last week, they were outstanding against the Eels, keeping them scoreless. As for Penrith, well, they were diabolical against Melbourne. They had no one playing for them. And this week, they get a few players back. Api Coruscant and Isaiah Yeo are back. Pangai will make his Panthers debut on the bench. And the big one there, jersey number 21, Nathan Cleary could make a return. Well, I guess we'll see what happens, but at this stage, he will not play for the Roosters, though. Josh Morris is out, so they welcome in Dale Copley, making his debut for the Roosters. Now, this is a very, very hard game to tip. The Roosters have shown some great signs lately. The Panthers have been pretty ordinary, I guess you could say, the last couple of weeks. I beat the Broncos in a very ugly game that they won, I should say. And last week, they were terrible. You know what? The Panthers have beaten the Roosters the last 3 times they've played. I reckon the Roosters will win this. I really do. I don't know why. Nathan Cleary is a 50-50 chance, and if he doesn't play, then I'll definitely tip the Roosters. But with the uncertainty on Nathan Cleary and no one knows if he will play or not, I'm going to tip the Roosters here. It's going to be a cracking game. It'll be a tight one. I'm going to go the Roosters by 4. I'm going to go the Roosters 20 points to 16. I reckon James Tedesco and Satili Tupanua will be anytime try scorers for the Roosters. And I reckon James Tedesco will be man of the match. Roosters to win by 4. Should be a great game. They're paying about $3. So Not bad money for the Roosters. Chooks to win by 4 on Saturday night. The other game on Saturday night, it's a blockbuster game. It's the game of the round. It is at 7:35, Suncorp Stadium. The Manly Warringah Seagulls up against the Melbourne Storm. An old rivalry here. It's gonna be a blockbuster game, this one. Melbourne are $1.30 favourites. Manly at $3.75. My God, what a game of footy this is going to be. Tom Trbojevic, can he lead the Seagulls to a win over the Melbourne Storm, who haven't lost the game since round 3 or round 2, something like that. This is a huge game, this one. For the Seagulls, though, not any changes for them. I believe they're 1 through to 17. Yes, they are. And for the Melbourne Storm, Kafusi's out suspended. About time he got suspended. And in comes Chris Lewis into the back row. This is such a tough game to pick. I don't know which way to go. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's so hard to pick. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Manly. Turbo is the best player in the world at the moment. He is playing out of his skin. If Turbo can do what he does most weeks, I think Manly can win. I don't know if Melbourne have a game plan for Turbo. They probably will, but every other club's had a game plan for Turbo and it just hasn't worked. So I'm going to go the Seagulls. I'm going to go the Seagulls by 2. Manly to win. 24 points to 22 on Saturday night. I reckon Tom Trbojevic and Josh Addo-Carr will be anytime try scorers in that game. And I'm going to go Tommy Turbo for man of the match. Manly to win. 24-22 in the game of the round. It could even be Golden Point. Who knows? Manly to beat Melbourne. Let's move on to Sunday football. First game kicking off at 2 o'clock. I believe this game is being played at Redcliffe. It is the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs up against the West Tigers. 2 o'clock on Sunday at Redcliffe. The Tigers are favourites here at $1.45. The Bulldogs at $2.75. My God, this might be the worst game of the year. This is going to be a really, really bad game of footy. I hope it's good. I hope it proves me wrong, but my God, it's going to be really shit. For the Dogs, Ockenball's out. Atoni's out, so it looks like, how do you say this guy's name? Falakalo Manu is in on the wing for the Warriors, and it looks like Chris Patala was also in for the Dogs. For the Tigers, though, Dane Laurie's out, which is a really big out. Moses Mbye goes to fullback. Cheekham goes to the centres, and it looks like Zach Cheney or Cheney goes to the bench. I really don't know which way to go here. The Tigers really pissed me off last week against the Warriors, and the Bulldogs showed me nothing against the Gold Coast. Kyle Flanagan's not playing, so maybe they'll play better. Look, you know what? I'm going the Bulldogs. I'm going to go the Dogs. Absolutely zero confidence. This game could literally go either way. I'm going to tip the Bulldogs with zero confidence. I'm going to go the Bulldogs by 4. Bulldogs to win. 20 points to 16. I reckon Ava Siamana Fanai, the Bulldogs front rower, I reckon he can score a try at any time for the Dogs. And I'm going to go Jake Gavrillet for man of the match. Bulldogs to win by 4, but absolutely no confidence in that game. The final game of the round, Sunday afternoon, kicking off at 4 p.m. up at Seabus Super Stadium. It is the Gold Coast Titans up against my boys, the North Queensland Cowboys. The Titans are $1.30 favourites. The Cowboys at $3.50. The Cowboys welcome back Valentine Holmes. Hampton goes to the centres. Also some big news here. Jason Taumalolo will play in the second row. That's a very, very interesting decision from Todd Payton. Hess goes to lock, and it looks like Ben Condon comes onto the bench, which I'm really happy about. As for the Gold Coast, Tyrone Peachey is out, so Aaron Clark goes to the bench for Tyrone Peachey. This is going to be a really interesting game, this one. The Titans have been good, but they've shown that they can be inconsistent. The Cowboys, well, their season's done. They've got absolutely nothing to play for, so hopefully the mentality is the Cowboys go down Sunday and be like, well, we've got nothing to play for. Our season's over. Let's try and, mess up the Titans season. And I don't like being biased, but I'm going to be biased here. The Cowboys will win. The Cowboys will beat the Titans on Sunday. All you Titans fans out there that want to give me shit about that, go and fuck yourself. The Cowboys will win. Now, shout out to Jimmy Miller, the Mad Titans fan that's been on the show a few times. Shout out to Jimmy Miller, mate. Good luck on Sunday, mate. May the best team win. This is going to be a cracking game on Sunday. Titans, Cowboys. Go you bloody Cowboys. I'm tipping the Cowboys. Cowboys by 10. 30 points to 20. Valentine Holmes and Jason Taumalolo to be an anytime try scorer. And I reckon Val Holmes will be man of the match. But guys, they're my tips for round 16, or round 21, the NRL. I've gone the Knights. I've gone the Raiders. Gone the Rabbitohs, the Sharks, the Roosters, the Seagulls, the Dogs, and the Cowboys. Let me know your tips in the comment section below, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Go you bloody Cowboys.